The best in the galaxy is now live on YouTube. For those of you tuning in, near and far, hit that thumbs up. Remember our disclaimer, and let's get ready to rock and roll. There only seems to be two decent looking stocks here on the gap scan. AMTV and NCPL are seeming to be the top two. Everything else a little bit more choppy looking, just not seeming to be as strong. And you know, I want to keep in mind. That we've been seeing the slower start, right? We've been seeing a lot of stocks early give a move and then sell right off. So the key today is to avoid any sort of red start. That way, once we do start to see something give some follow through, we can be right where we need to be and capitalizing and in the green. The other thing is size, right? We want to make sure that depending on the price range of the stock, we use an amount that is a little bit bigger, right? Instead of our normal base size. So I was thinking about adjusting the hotkey, and honestly, it doesn't make sense. What makes sense is just to put out a size that's, relative to the price of the stock that we're using, and just keep in mind from there our total size that we will be, wanting to use in the trade. So that way we can just go to a hotkey that makes sense, right? Whether it's a cheaper stock, something at $3, $5, $10, etc. We just got to put out that size and, just be willing to accept the risk, right? With a little bit more confidence here. So NCPL, this one is a little cheaper, only around $1. Let's see. I'm going to pull it up here. NCPL. NCPL. I might trade this one on Webull. It all depends. Honestly, if it's below $1, then I'll use Webull, of course. Obviously, with Sage, Guardian, these platforms, the ECN fees are just they're just a little too much if you ask me. So I'd rather use free commission platforms like Thinkorswim, Webull, whatever else, TradeStation, TradeZero for these type of stocks. So NCPL, which is up 56%, continuation name from yesterday. After hours, they had a good push. Today we've curled up. We're holding up our levels, and this one definitely stands a chance at taking the highs and potentially continuing into an uptrend. As you guys know, for me, that's the only thing I care about, is a stock that can give an uptrend. If it's just gonna go sideways or 3 candles up and then right back down, I could care less about those opportunities. But the stocks that can continue to make a new high, continue to curl up slowly, doesn't have to be in just 5 minutes, but over the course of 30 minutes, an hour, can we slowly curl up? So NCPL looks decent. We have ATMV, which is up 34%. There's some decent volume on that one as well. About 3 million shares. I'm going to go to single screen or else I'll forget here. ATMV, again, it looks decent. The only thing is, we kind of had that high point and we sold off. And if we look back a couple days ago, we did have a pretty big move, I believe, in after hours. All the way to 37. So if there's no chance of this one bouncing due to maybe some short sellers, that'll be fine. It'll just come down to a matter of waiting to see if something else hits the scans. So no need to force it on a stock like ATMV if we're not going to be able to see a good move up, right? But yeah, so for really and truly, NCPL looks the best. This is the one that I'm going to pay attention to into the open. as usual, as I'm going through, I'm going to call out the trades that I'm looking at. I'm going to also regularly call out how much I'm up or down on the day. Um, I never do anything for just like nonsense reasons. Like, the people the people who are watching for a long time will know that I'm always very, calculated, let's say. And I'm not afraid to say something like that here because, you know, I am who I am. But in terms of like sharing the P&L, I'm not gonna share P&L. I'll just call out where I'm at on the day. But at the end of the live stream is where I'll share the P&L, right? Like once we're done, like I did yesterday, right? So and here's another thing too, right? Right, in trading, really and truly, it's always profits, not profits, process over profits. That's the saying right there. Process over profits, right? And for the people who are really watching and listening, from the analysis of what we're giving, candlestick wise, chart wise, pattern wise, you'll be able to understand and see, what a P&L will look like even before you see the P&L, right? Does that make sense? So the P&L will always follow the process, right? And process over profits. It has me. I'll say this too. Before, how much time is it? We got 15 seconds. I'll say this, right? Me being green or red, like going through a tougher time, has nothing to do with me sharing P&L. It has everything to do with strategy. Only a few people will understand that, but not everybody needs to, and that's okay. NCPL. So we've had some support there to VWAP. QCLS. I didn't really look at that one. This first minute, I'm not too excited about. I want to see how well we can hold up into minute number 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and not just red candle, back down after a couple cents up. So I'm actually all the way hands off, just watching. What will keep the transparency beyond people already knowing I'm transparent is the yearly recap that will come out to show everybody every single day of the year. That and the P&L at the end of the live stream. Okay. All right. We're holding up the level for now. Highs are at 12. ATMV, is it halting up? It doesn't really look that good, honestly. I'm not touching that. NCPL. If we can break over 12 here in this early range, it'll be pretty good. QCLS is selling off a bit. That one looks like it's halted down, actually. Let's see how well we can do over 12 here. So 2000 share position over 12, selling 15, 17 area, watching to get back in. We're halting up here, 27. I didn't get back in yet. Small position again, 22, 2000 shares, but watching to see if it comes lower here, because it could. I'm wondering if there's like a hidden buyer at 22. Maybe not. In at 22 out of 21, missing this push right here. It might get halted up. I'm only green 160. We missed the trade at 21 to 35. Oh man, I did take the dip at 30. I 2,000 shares. Bro. Ay ay ay. AMTV, how did it ended up doing? Oh man, I gotta slam. I mean, not even say it. I'm not gonna say it. I'm just gonna do it. ATMV, ATMV. There's a spread. ATMV, $13 stock. The resumption actually went higher, which is good. That dip at 21, right? I really was expecting it to like hit like 19, 18, 17, but it just, from 22, there was a hidden buyer there or something. Once it finally came below 22, I'm like, okay, this is going to come to high teens, like, high chance. Watching to buy. I blink and it's at 29. I'm like, bro, what is this? Yeah, ATMV, man, doesn't look too bad. Although it's carrying a little bit more risk with the price, but that was a good double bottom at the VWAP there. So I'm long. I'm still holding 260 shares from 130. We're halted up at 40. We'll have to see if it gives a good setup here for the dip and rip. We got 2 minutes 15 seconds. Damn, look at that spread though. 69 by 13. Come on. That's brutal. I'm going to size up here. I am going to size up here. It's going to be a little bit risky because we're already up a little bit. But if the dip and rip is good, I'll be watching near for size. But if we don't dip, I'm just not taking the trade. We got a minute and a couple seconds. I'm actually going to use a different platform here on the resumption. I just got to remember to cut the shares that I have. It's only 260 shares anyways, but watching with more size here, NCPL. We got 15 seconds watching at the dip and rip. Here we go. Not in. I guess okay. I guess that was okay. 36 to 46. Wanted to see a little bit more of a pullback, but 56 is the halt up again. We are extended, so if it does pull back here, I'm not going to be surprised. It is. I'd say it's a little harder to manage risk here. I'm watching to see what the next setup could potentially be here. You know, will we see a 3-bar play here or something else? It might need to pull back too. It's another thing. Throwing out a starter here, 36. Only looking to risk two cents or so, just because again we could pull back here. Was that high 43 or so for the 1-minute candle to make a new high? Can the 1-minute candlestick make a new high? If that can happen, then there's a chance we can retest that 50 level. But I want to be careful of a false breakout if it does come. Come on, you can do it. You can do it. Hold and curl. Hold and curl. So that 1-minute candle to make the new high did not hold up there. Right now we're still only green 250. Again, we haven't really gotten in with size. 2,000 shares, kind of like our biggest position so far here. We gotta if it's able to give an extension over 50, but although the halt level is kind of tight, right? We gotta try to size up into the next move here to get something out of it. It's definitely having some trouble here at mid 40s. This is a tough breakout to take here. Small loss there in at 40 out of 37. Doesn't want to dip. It looks like it's coming down. We're gonna take some good losses there, back to flat. Again, not getting to take enough size on the way up to get that meaningful difference there. It's still here though, 32. Still watching just in case. $32, $32, $32, $31, $30. Can we go all the way here though? We're back in at 35, holding a little bit of shares. Oh, not good. Pretty odd. Added 40 there, no good. I like that it curled back up. The key is definitely us holding up this the previous support and then breaking through 40 here. 40 seems like it's the big level. Got a position at 35 and just holding here. I'm willing to add to it, honestly, high or low, depending. Taking the add high. Can we see the push to 45.50? Still needed more size, but better than nothing. Holding 500 shares into the halt up. Damn, bro, what is it with me and taking size? And why can't I take size? I don't get it. Big Steve, am I cooked? Bro. Bro, I could take 20,000 shares on a stock like this, like nothing. Four minutes to the resumption. It's important that we hold up here because it could still be a double top. This is our previous high of day. We had shares 35. We added at 41. And we kind of sold at 47, 49, 50. Holding 500 shares. Every trade after this resumption is going to be 4,500 shares. Minimum size. ATMV looks like it could go here, but again, a really high risk stock. There's the move. Can we see over 15? We got 2 minutes, 16 seconds. It's showing sideways resumption here for now. One minute to resumption. Again, ATMV also at the highs, although a higher risk. This is where I have to push this day into like a good day and then call it, once this thing is done. Maybe it goes to 60, 70, 80. But in this move up here, this is it. Like, This is it. This is probably going to be the last chance to make some more, unless it goes to like 250, which it's impossible to tell how good it could go, how far it could go. $20, 52. Please give me a dip and rip. Please, please. I need to take size, please. 10 seconds. We're at 51. I added there. Damn. Didn't really get to bake much. Sold it flat due to the hesitation. Come on. Do something. It's pretty impressive bid, although it's getting filled. Adding 63 for the bigger push. Taking 64, tight stop, 61. Bro, I'm up 570. Like, this is just fucking stupid. I'm grateful for the green, but this is not it. This is nonsense. And I'm stopping out a little too soon there. Sizing down and taking it easy here. Taking a starter again. What's the time? Can we see 70? And a retest of 70 here. I might add if the volume is high enough for 70 plus watching, waiting. Time 9. Adding back 62. Can we see the push? Time 30 seconds for the new 5-minute candlestick. Can we see 70? 70 is the key here for the retest of the high if it's going to be a good curl into the new candlestick. Big Steve, where are those bulls, brother? Are they alive? They are alive and well. You see, how could somebody listen to that analysis right there and question my greatness? Come on, man. Selling the rest 64. It looks like a false breakout. I've never felt this way in a long time. Like, I'm almost getting mad at myself now, which hasn't happened in years because the reality is a stock like this should be like 6K blocks, you know? Like, I'm here using 2K size. Like, bro, this is a mockery. It looks like we're going to pull back here. We had a false breakout at the highs. Maybe sub 50. Right now, I don't want to touch it unless it comes back over 63. I think that's the only place where it looks okay again. Fucking fills, bro. Holy shit. Is it too soon? We're seeing 59. I think smaller size here for me if it does come back up. Yeah, I think I'll stick to smaller size, like real small size, until it really like, if it really is to curl to like 70, but unless we get over the highs, I don't want to use size here, even at like 64, 65, just in case it's like still weak. Because this candlestick here didn't look too good. At this candlestick right here is a tough candlestick. So the short entry is probably like mid 60s if people are short, we'll see. and it looks like it could come down. Oh, oh, oh. Red to green, red to green. It might do it. 62. 64. Yeah, I mean that was close, but not quite. It's like it ran out of buying power at like 64, literally. The green on the tape just disappeared. But that's how the red. I mean, yesterday we kind of saw it right on the other stock where I think we were at like 18, and then out of nowhere it just ripped through on the after breaking down. That's the trade where I took the wrong size initially and then started complaining about the size and missed the actual trade. I'm gonna try it again. It could go. I didn't have any size, but that was good. That was good. It still has more left in the tank. It might get halted up here at 76. Holy smokes. In at 64, out at 65, 66, 73, 74, 76. Not really a great. I'm still holding 160 shares. Not really a great trade, but in terms of the size, but analysis wise, pretty good. Do I size up here again? Is the question, right? Do I want to try? I mean, it obviously that was a pretty bullish move. Do I want to try and go for it again here? We're up 730. The risk is if we do try to use size, the risk is here that we could, if we have like one or two losses, it'll literally be like back to plus 200. I think at this point in the day, it's just not worth the risk of like losing that much. Because the reality is, even if we double the day, it just doesn't feel as good if you go back to those like flat levels, mentally, like in terms of how you will feel mentally. So I think cruise control, 2K size. Maybe I can add to a position if we're already in a winning trade. But I think that's going to be the way here rather than like trying to go crazy now. But we are looking pretty bullish though off of that because people are short mid 60s for sure. People took once this thing falls break out here, people short 67, 65, 64, 63, even down at 58 chasing it. And so people are going to get squeezed here for sure. They're going to be covering into the resumption. So can we see 80, 85? Every time we see an uptrending stock, we're able to see green. We're almost there, bro. The people who are the real followers, supporters. I'm not just saying this to say it, but it's because I can see it. You know, just like how we could see like the hyper scalping. I can see it as clear as day. It's just a matter of continuing to be more refined in terms of the execution, and then we're right there. And with this holding longer thing, I think it's possible we could make more than how the amount we were making before. You're seeing so much more cents. Like instead of just taking that 3 cents, 2 cents, like you're seeing 5, 10, 15 cents on a stock like this. But it comes down to having the size to keep unwinding as we're going. NCPL halted up. Resumption is in 1 minute 45 seconds, showing sideways resumption. For the people that want to see my P&L, right? Like that'll look back at this setup right here. I'm already on the way down. I'm saying, hey, I think back over 164 is where we could potentially see something. Then I say, hey, I'm long at 65 and selling into the move up. Like, what more would we need to see or hear than that? Ross plus 8,600 on the day. 8,600 on the day. So sticking the 2K size here in the next 25 seconds, we're at 76. It might resume and just shoot all the way up to 85, in which case, hopefully we can see a clean setup for the pullback. I'm looking to sell the 162 shares I'm still holding here. There's 83. It's not immediate here, which is concerning. I missed 73. I'd say it's not the cleanest of resumptions. Taking a starter here, 75, 76. And I'm going to add here, 71. Tight stop, though, at that level. If it's strong, we really shouldn't break down like high 60s, like worst case scenario. It should hold up right here and retest 85, 90 if it's going to be a strong one here into this continuation. So I'm holding 1,500 shares at 73 and watching for 83 and then a retest of the highs there. It's definitely perking up, which is a good sign. Big jump right there to 77. So that tells me that I want to add here if it keeps holding up. I'll take 76 out, small size. Watching to see if we're able to curl up there through 80. Still waiting, still watching. My risk is limited unless it does something very you know, unusual. Cutting it 70. Cutting it at 70 and watching it get back in if we can get back over the level here. So it's a 4-cent loss. 2,000 size. Again, if it's strong, we shouldn't really pull back much more than where we are now. So watching it again. Perhaps this might be the end of the line. So we're going to give back like 150 over those two trades there. The ad ended up coming all the way at 77, which was a little higher than I would have wanted, but this is not what we would want to see after a beautiful red to green. I think the pullback to 70 is fine, but we need to hold up high 60s and retest 85. We only got to 79, and I didn't sell anything there. Looking for a little bit more out of the trade. All right, this is where I am walking on the day, taking the small green. I think highs were like 750 or so, or 730. Again, seeing myself trade like 30,000 shares in a day is just like, I just keep coming up to this mark and I can't get over it. So size continues to be the main thing here. For the people who love to see P&L, here you go, P&L, P&L. The P&L, like we showed yesterday as well at the end of the stream. The P&L lovers. The P&L lovers. I mean, the stock is still bullish, but I think this is for me where I'd say the better opportunities just came and went. Tim watching IBIO. Mighty saying we were extended, the halt down to be expected. Big Steve, man. Big Steve. The beautiful thing is that we have every day, all day, the rest of the year, the rest of next year, and it's not going to take that long. The moon. Even on a day like yesterday where we it's not the results we would have wanted. It's like still a lot of good things overall. But the key is though, we got to avoid the red starts, right? Like yesterday, we ended up starting red 600. Like each of the three stocks we traded just slammed back down after like a good start, right? Couple green candles and then Christmas tree, Christmas tree. Like this one here, it's to the point where I didn't take this setup right here. This setup, I took yesterday 3 times. This same setup, this same exact setup, no difference. Right here, where the smiley faces. Small bull flag. Hey, we started off with a good green candle. Can we hold up and continue? I didn't even want to. I didn't want to trade the low at 103, 102. I'm like, nope, not touching it. I'm like, I'm just gonna watch the breakout, and if breakout doesn't go, that's it. The skepticism there, which kind of started off the move with small size for me. 2,000 shares in at 12, and then this is the dip that we missed on the next setup. We're long at 22, but we're like, hey, if 22 breaks down, more than likely we're gonna see, 19, 18, maybe even 17. But it only breaks down by 1 cent, and I missed from 21 all the way to 36. We did get 29 entry here. Also a trade that I told myself to take some more size, didn't size up. Resumption in 26 seconds. Once again, hyper scalping, the very quick in and out trades. I don't think it's the best style for this type of market. It's great to have that skill in case, we see some crazy stuff in the future. It can work in some key areas, but right now we're seeing, the stocks take much longer to give the follow through. So last year, what took 30 seconds to resolve is now taking 3 minutes to resolve this in this market condition. Meaning hyper scalping is just not as efficient as it would be under the normal circumstance, So having to like hold longer, taking a little bit more size is the key there. And then on the days where we're not seeing follow through, it's going to be so key to just keep it tight, man. Not overdo it, not blow up on a big red day, just taking small losses. Yeah, hyper scalping dead. Dead like a nit. But again, it's good to have the skill in case, you know, we see, because, we're going to be here for years, right? Those of us who are like trading as what we'd like to do, we're going to be here for decades. And so, maybe next month, maybe next year, maybe the next 5 years, who knows? If the market is hot enough and there's enough liquidity, PDT going down to 2K size or $2,000 rather, if it's liquid enough, it's hot enough, maybe we can see stocks give that follow through, the capitulation, as Ron Bet likes to say, much quicker, right? I mean, it's really still night and day difference. I mean, even a stock like this, the candlesticks may look the same on this type of a strong stock, but when you break it down into the price action, it's so much slower in terms of how the stock would move, And so from taking 200-300 trades a day to now taking way, way less trades than that. 30 trades, 20 trades, 40 trades. Volume from 800,000 shares to now just 40,000 shares, 30,000 shares in a day average. It's like a huge, huge, huge difference. So that's what these last like 7 months has really been for me. Has there been some stubbornness? I think honestly, if I was doing this without being live, I would have been able to do it faster. But and I say that because like there's a lot of there's a lot of criticism in a sense of like concern, like, hey RT, like I remember when we came back from that team house, right? Like, it's almost like you can feel this thing in your bones, like, because that was like March of this year, like mid March. We had 2 good months or 3 good months, but we were already seeing like, bro, like we need to like change some things up a little bit, And then that's when I tried putting out those limit orders to like get filled lower, and like people were like going crazy, like, bro. Despite me coming out saying, hey, I'm gonna try something new here for the next 2 weeks, right? And honestly, whilst what I did that then wasn't perfect, there was a lot of good things that I learned, like that we're even still implementing now in adjusting and trying to hold longer in our trades. I can post timestamps of the trades too, just so people can see. Are there still a few hyper scalping kind of trades mixed in, like maybe like 5 trades out of the day, maybe, but most of the trades are like going towards a minute plus. They're not like 5 seconds average, which we're used to, like 5 second, 10 second max. Now the trades are stretched out over a duration. AFJK just seems too risky for me. I feel like this next year is going to be a great year. This year, we had a lot of adjusting to do and things to work on, but it's all preparing the table for next year, and next year is going to be legendary. I don't know if I'll do daily recap next year. I've not, daily recaps. I spoke about this like at least 3 to 4 times over the last 2 years. Daily recaps are good in the sense of like, doing like an extra review session. It definitely keeps you consistent with that, right? But I can also be consistent on my own, right? Which is like reviewing the charts, reviewing the session, reviewing the day, understanding what I could do a little differently, what went wrong, things like that. Um, outside of the public's eye, right? The people who are here every day that loves trading, it's also good for them because you can't get enough of this stuff when you're really into it, right? But in terms of like the channel and stuff like that, like the growth, like the business side of things, is not good content to be posting at all. It's not good content to be posting. I don't know. I'll have to really think about it. Like if I want to post recaps every day or just like bigger review videos. So we're gonna do a yearly review video here, going over the last like 8 months, especially. The first 3 months were hyper scalping. The the 5 months that followed after that was like a mixture of still trying to hyper scalp, trying to hold longer. And these last 2 months and a half really has been more like buying into like longer trades. I think, you know, I don't know, even like there's also a lot of other factors too, right? Like Schwab, people accounts being banned, like trying to not use the platform and then ended up using the platform again, and then my account getting sent to the depths. It, been a lot of different things, right? New platforms. At one point, I'm thinking maybe going short is a good way to go, but ultimately, it's like, man, like we have so much more going for us on the long side. It's like your mind can like wander a little bit in terms of like what you want to do next to adjust. But these are things that's good to talk about here in the stream, because ultimately, all of us who are here will have peaks and valleys, ups and downs, sideways periods, and we all have to like make those decisions as to what's best for our trading, our accounts, how to manage risk going forward. We went to a conference a while back, OCG, moving up a bit. We went to a conference a while back where we had a couple of multi-millionaire traders talking about, it's not a matter of if, but a matter of when, because anyone can experience turbulence in their trading. So for the last like 5 to 6 years of me trading, I haven't experienced a market where quicker trades would not occur, right? It's to the point where like I had this mindset of like, there's no way, there's 0% chance that hyper scalping will not be 100% bulletproof all the time, every time, because stocks have to go up and down, right? However, stocks do have to go up and down, but it doesn't mean the price action has to be fast, quick, instant, right? And that's like the biggest difference we've been seeing is just the slowdown in what used to be. And so can we still see some quicker, bigger moves? Yes, but it's not typical anymore for it to happen every candlestick, every area, every bounce, every dip, every breakout. Because ultimately, I mean, if I was hyper scalping, right, the commissions would have been the issue on a commission based broker, right? If I'm hyper scalping, taking 3, 4, 500 trades a day, which was pretty common, the commissions would have been like the bigger issue. In which case, you would use a free platform, right? And it's like days like today where I'm like not even using my free commission platform because the commissions are not even relevant when you're taking just a few trades in a day. I prefer the hotkeys on Sage, on Guardian, over the hotkeys on Webull. Webull hotkeys are better than Thinkorswim hotkeys, like pound for pound. Of course, Thinkorswim, if you connect the DAS platform, then you kind of have the same hotkeys as Sage and Guardian, right? Because they're all utilizing DAS. For those people in the chat room, when I post screenshots, like you guys will notice I have multiple level 2s. So depending on the platform I want to use, I can just click on those level 2s. And then for Webull, I'm really just gonna use it for like stocks at like 10 cents or something. I don't know, 50 cents, because that's where the ECN fees gets too high on the commission platforms. But I gotta expect the fees to go up with more size. That's gonna be, but yet again, the profits are gonna be exponential, so it's not gonna even matter anyways. I don't doubt that our the quantity of our share of our trades are not gonna really go up. Just more so a little bit more size. So our average like 30,000 shares, 40,000 shares a day might become like 100,000 shares if I had to like just guess. I don't think it'll be that different. Again, the quantity of trades we're taking is not going to be, it's not going to be increased. We're still going to be taking, 30 trades a day max kind of thing. Man, it is a huge difference though, right? Because even like now we could have still been in, out, in, out, in, out everywhere here. Like the whole entire thing when we post the like those triangles on the charts, like we'll have like 10 trades in each candlestick as it's like going up on the screen. Shoots, man, wow. Anyhow, so I'm out of here. It's been a good day. We're shutting it down. I'll show the P and L. I'll show the P and L again. Um, we're up $600. A little less than that after the small commissions here. Process over profits. Tomorrow's another day, and we just have to continue to build on what we've been learning. From what I can see, every day that there's a stock that will uptrend, we will be able to make money. And a stock will uptrend in a good market most times, most days. And to start the day, we have to be careful not to get caught into opportunities that look good, that fade out. And so the opportunity cost there will be some smaller size to just make sure the stock is strong. And then, once we really see the follow throughs where we have to do a better job at pushing it. Other than that, slow and steady. And I can guarantee to the people who are going to be here in the next couple of months that you guys will see the greatness shine once again. We're already great now. We're just going to be even greater. We're going to be even better. We're going to be even more firm. We're going to be able to manage the risk even more well. And, it's just another beautiful day in the process. Financially, we've made so much money that we have no issues. So going through a sideways period for us, we have no trouble. It's just a matter of just making small progress. And even when we were seeing really big green days, thousands of dollars in a day, the only goal even then was always progress, right? My goal has never been a P&L. I tried that in the sim early, like back in 2019. It didn't work for me. And since then, I realized that for me personally, I cannot set monetary goals. The goals that I have to set is based off of performance, me doing the best job that I can do every single day. And ultimately that will lead to good numbers, right? So if we're going through a period where we have to make adjustments and it comes down to just slow trading to get better, every day I can feel satisfied and fulfilled if I'm making progress, which is why today I kind of said I'm a little bit angry at myself earlier because I knew I needed a little bit more size there. That's been the theme for me the last 2-3 weeks. And I didn't really quite push myself. So it's where I can say like my performance could have been better, It's not about the money per se. It's about us doing what we need to do according to the story that the market is telling us. If the market is saying, hey, reduce size, it's a period of adjustment, then that's what it is. And there's no frustration for not seeing a big P&L, right? Like if you put the P&L first, you're never going to be able to overcome in this field. Hopefully that makes sense, right? If you put the P&L first, you're not going to be able to overcome because you're going to get too frustrated too easily. You're going to get too emotional, So it's like, even on a day like yesterday where we started red 600, we're actually 750 at our highs, I think, red, because we're red 230, 230, 230, right? 200 on 3 stocks. When I look back at how we went red, we traded some good opportunities that came up. Again, all the stocks, they just, Christmas treed. We had some great looking setups, bull flags, red to greens. They all slammed back down. If I'm going P&L first right there, my mindset is already cooked to start the day versus when I look back at how I got red, it's because I took good setups that failed rather than, oh man, red 750. I'm furious with myself. I'm furious with the day. It's a totally different mindset. So when the other stock came along, I was red 230 on that one. We ended up going green plus 400. So on that ticker symbol alone, we had a $700 turnaround. At the end of the move at $18, we tried to push a little bit of size, and we went back to flat in 3 trades, right? So from red 300 to 230, somewhere there, either 300 or 230, somewhere in that range, right? To green 400, I came back to flat on the day, and that was only able to happen because mentally I was in the right space of mind, right? I was on the side of process. How did we get red? If I got red because I just did a lot of nonsense, showed up here, didn't follow any of my rules, then it's the day I just need to get the hell out of here, stay away from the markets completely, because that type of mindset is a mindset to just lose. But anytime you end up red because of discipline, it's not even really a loss. It's just another day in the process, really, you know? So that type of mindset allows you to be able to overcome any obstacle because you're following the rules, you're doing the right thing, and ultimately over time it will pay off because it has no choice. It is that simple. If every day you get a little bit better, the P&L will have no choice. It can't help itself. Even if it takes months, it has to happen. It will happen because that's the nature of the universe. That's the nature of doing the right thing, you know, following the trading rules, following the setups that work out. Because at the end of the day, it's probability, right? And the probability tells us that over time, by doing the right thing, these setups, these same stocks will work, and they'll have no choice but to reward you. And so when the process comes first, you're never going to have blow up moments. You can never blow up an account. You can have mistakes. You can have losing trades, but it'll never be so bad to where you feel bad about yourself. And which is why in the last 6+ years, I haven't had one day where I could say I was really, really, really on edge or on tilt, you know, compared to what I know tilt to be when I was on tilt in the simulator 6+ years ago, when I knew I was trading and I knew every day I could blow up my account and I didn't care. You know, that type of mindset has been destroyed, extinguished, abolished, whatever word you want to use. It is no more. The halt up is 72 here, and this thing is on a red to green. So if anybody is ever complaining at any time, you know, if people make videos about me on YouTube, it's why none of it matters because I already know what it is, you know? Just slowly and surely, slowly but surely. Even if it takes another month or two, it doesn't matter. And then when you do get to the destination, the growth is going to be exponential. If you want to say, quote unquote, making up for lost time, which is not even really a thing in how I view the markets here, you know, we're going to be doing extremely well, and we're going to be able to make a lot of progress in a short amount of time relative to the time we're putting in the work here for, you know. All the behind the scene works is going to pay off, and, you know, one day we're going to be where we need to be. So hit that thumbs up, and the pastor signing out. Out like South. For those of you in the chat room, MR, Danny, AO, AB, Triad, have a good one. Stay safe, stay green. If you're going to distance, stay disciplined. And the YouTube stream, likewise, stay disciplined, hit that thumbs up. And I'll catch you guys in the next one tomorrow again.